There's something extraordinary happening in your reality right now, and most people completely miss it. You're not most people though, because you're here, watching this video at this exact moment, which means you're already tuned into frequencies that others ignore completely. What I'm about to share with you isn't some feel-good motivation or wishful thinking. This is about recognizing the precise patterns that show up right before the universe delivers massive rewards into someone's life. And if you're seeing this video, if something drew you here today, then these patterns are already active in your world. The universe doesn't reward randomly. It doesn't just pick names out of a hat and decide who gets blessed today. There's an actual sequence, a specific series of events that unfold before every major reward arrives. And once you understand this sequence, once you know what to look for, you'll realize you're probably much closer to your breakthrough than you ever imagined. Right now, as you're listening to these words, there are invisible forces aligning in your favor. Energy is shifting, doors are preparing to open, people are thinking about you in ways that will soon become opportunities. But here's the thing that most people don't understand about universal rewards. They don't arrive the way you expect them to. You might be hoping for a specific outcome, praying for a particular solution, visualizing one exact scenario. But the universe is infinitely more creative than your limited human perspective. It sees possibilities you can't even imagine. It has access to resources you don't know exist. It can orchestrate synchronicities that seem impossible from where you're standing right now. This is why so many people miss their rewards entirely. They're looking for a knock on the front door, while the universe is tapping on the window. They're waiting for a phone call while their blessing is arriving through an email. They're expecting their reward to look exactly like what they asked for. But universal gifts rarely come wrapped in familiar packaging. Let me tell you what really happens when the universe is preparing to reward you. First, your internal world starts shifting before anything changes externally. You begin noticing thoughts that feel different, more expansive, more confident. Ideas start flowing that didn't exist before. You catch yourself daydreaming about possibilities that used to seem unrealistic. This isn't coincidence. This is your consciousness expanding to match what's about to enter your physical reality. The universe never gives you something you're not energetically prepared to receive. So before your external circumstances transform, your internal capacity has to grow first. You might find yourself having conversations with strangers that feel unusually meaningful. Books, articles, or videos seem to appear at exactly the right moment with exactly the message you needed to hear. You start waking up with solutions to problems you weren't even consciously working on. These aren't random events. These are preparatory experiences designed to get you ready for what's coming. The universe is literally downloading new information into your awareness, upgrading your mental and emotional operating system so you can handle the magnitude of what it's about to deliver. But here's where it gets really interesting. Right before your reward arrives, you'll face what I call the final calibration test. This isn't the universe being cruel or making you jump through hoops. This is the final adjustment to ensure you're truly ready for what you're about to receive. This test usually shows up as a situation that requires you to demonstrate the exact qualities your future success will demand. Maybe it's staying calm under pressure when you've been asking for a leadership role. Maybe it's choosing authenticity over approval when you've been praying for genuine connections. Maybe it's taking action despite uncertainty when you've been wanting more opportunities. Most people fail this test because they don't recognize it for what it is. They think it's just another obstacle, another delay, another reason to doubt whether their reward is really coming. But this test is actually the final step before everything changes. Think about it this way. If you were about to receive something that would completely transform your life, wouldn't you want to make sure you were prepared to handle it wisely? The universe isn't withholding your good. It's making sure you're equipped to sustain it. Now, if you're recognizing yourself in what I'm describing, if these patterns sound familiar, then you need to understand what phase you're currently in. Because each phase requires different actions, different awareness, different preparation. The recognition phase is where you start noticing the signs I mentioned earlier. Your intuition becomes sharper, synchronicities increase. You feel like you're being guided towards something, even if you can't articulate what that something is yet. During this phase, your job is simply to pay attention. Don't dismiss the subtle signals. Don't rationalize away the meaningful coincidences. Start keeping track of the patterns you're noticing because they're breadcrumbs leading you toward your reward. The acceleration phase is when everything starts moving faster. Opportunities begin presenting themselves more frequently. People start reaching out to you unexpectedly. Ideas that have been dormant suddenly feel urgent and exciting. This phase can feel overwhelming because so much is happening simultaneously. Your tendency might be to slow down, to be more cautious, to make sure you're making the right choices. But this is actually when you need to speed up, to say yes more often, to trust that the universe is orchestrating something bigger than what you can see from your current perspective. The integration phase is the most crucial, and it's where most people stumble. This is when your old identity starts feeling uncomfortable, when the life you used to live no longer fits who you're becoming. Your relationships might feel strained. Your current situation might feel increasingly intolerable. This isn't a sign that you're moving backward. This is evidence that you're moving forward so rapidly that your external reality is struggling to keep up with your internal transformation. During this integration phase, you might feel like you're living between two worlds. The old version of yourself that played it safe, that accepted limitations, that believed certain things were impossible. And the new version that's emerging, the one that knows deep down that extraordinary things are not only possible, but inevitable. This feeling of being caught between worlds isn't comfortable, but it's absolutely necessary. You can't step into your new reality while still clinging to your old identity. Something has to give, and usually what gives first is your tolerance for situations that no longer serve your highest good. You might find yourself having difficult conversations you've been avoiding for months or years, ending relationships that drain your energy, leaving jobs that crush your spirit, making choices that seem risky to everyone around you but feel absolutely right to your soul. This is when people in your life might start acting differently toward you. Some will become uncomfortable with your transformation without being able to articulate why. Others will try to pull you back into familiar patterns because your growth challenges their own stagnation. A few will celebrate your evolution and cheer you forward. Pay attention to who falls into which category. The universe is showing you who belongs in your next chapter and who was only meant to be part of your previous story. This sorting process isn't personal, even though it might feel that way. It's simply alignment in action. The most powerful thing about this integration phase is that you start operating from a completely different frequency. Decisions that used to paralyze you with overthinking now feel obvious. Opportunities you would have questioned endlessly now get immediate yes responses from your intuition. You're not becoming reckless. You're becoming aligned. There's a massive difference between impulsive choices driven by fear and inspired actions guided by inner knowing. When you're truly aligned, even your boldest moves feel grounded in wisdom rather than desperation. Here's what most people don't realize about universal rewards. They compound exponentially once they start flowing. It's never just one good thing that happens. It's like the floodgates open and blessings start pouring in from multiple directions simultaneously. You might land an amazing opportunity and meet an incredible person and receive unexpected money and get clarity on your life purpose, all within the same week. This isn't coincidence. This is how universal rewards actually work. They come in waves, not droplets. But here's the catch that trips up so many people. When this wave of reward starts hitting, your mind might go into panic mode. It might tell you that this much good fortune couldn't possibly be real, that something terrible must be about to happen to balance it out, that you don't deserve this level of abundance. This is your old programming trying to sabotage your breakthrough. Every limiting belief you've ever held about what's possible for someone like you will surface during this time. Every story you've told yourself about why you can't have what you want will demand your attention. The key is recognizing these thoughts as outdated software, not current truth. They're echoes from a version of yourself that no longer exists. You don't have to fight these thoughts or pretend they're not there. You just have to refuse to make decisions based on them. Instead, make choices from the part of you that knows this abundance is natural, that recognizes these rewards as confirmation of your alignment, that understands you're finally receiving what was always meant for you. The final phase before your complete transformation is what I call the anchoring phase. This is when you learn to receive gracefully, to hold your new reality steady, to become the person who naturally attracts this level of blessing. During this phase, your entire relationship with success, abundance, and joy transforms. What used to feel like something you had to chase, earn, or prove your worthiness for now feels like your natural state. You stop being surprised by good things happening and start expecting them as the norm. This shift in expectation is crucial because it determines whether your rewards are temporary gifts or permanent upgrades to your life experience. When you anchor into the frequency of someone who naturally receives abundance, the universe has no choice but to keep delivering experiences that match that frequency. Right now, in this moment, as you're absorbing these words, you're not just learning about this process, you're actively participating in it. Your awareness is expanding, your frequency is shifting, your capacity to receive is increasing. The universe has been waiting for you to reach this level of understanding, this degree of readiness. Every challenge you've faced, every disappointment you've endured, every moment you almost gave up but didn't, has been preparing you for what's about to unfold. Your reward isn't just coming, it's already in motion, making its way to you through channels you haven't even considered yet, in forms that will exceed your wildest expectations. The fact that you've watched this entire video, that something guided you here at this exact moment, is proof that you're already in alignment with what's coming. You're not waiting for your reward anymore. You're preparing to receive it. Trust the process, embrace the signs, and remember that the universe never makes mistakes about timing. Your breakthrough is closer than you think, and you're more ready than you realize.